In this video, I want to talk about why you should just start an online business or start a business in general and just go for it and just do it essentially. Because I remember when I was back in my 9 to 5 job, I was working in and for an e-commerce business, basically in their warehouse, just plucking stuff. And I thought that that was just the way you were about supposed to do things. Just go to a normal job, get paid a salary, get an education, and then that's basically it, right? And so I hope that this video will help a lot of people that are out there that are like, do you want to start an online business? And what's amazing now, by the way, with the internet is that you can get influenced and you can get shown, and there's so much free training out there. When back in like 2014, when I was starting to think this, it didn't really exist. It was super rare. Like YouTube wasn't there wasn't a bunch of people like showing and flexing a bunch of stuff on YouTube, etc. So in this video, I just want to hopefully give you an idea that starting an online business doesn't have to be as scary and as big of a deal that you think that it is. And it has the power and the potential to completely change your life and make your life so much better. I'm going to talk about the different people today. I'm going to talk about my own journey and kind of what I'm doing and how I make money online. I also want to tell a story about this guy called Faroon, who was broke and in debt just 5 months ago. And now last month, he made over $65,000 in new monthly recurring revenue. And I also want to cover another example about this girl called Gracie, who basically 3 or 4 months ago just started on Instagram and it just blew up to over 200,000 followers, which is insane. So it's going to be a super raw, very just simple video where I just want to hopefully inspire you and show you that starting an online business, yes, it takes work, it takes energy, it takes dedication, but it's fun because you're working on your own stuff, your own journey, and it doesn't have to be. Yeah, it's going to be painful. Yes, it's going to suck, but you're going to feel alive and you're going to be working on your own thing that you truly love, that you truly like. You're not going to be working for somebody else in a day job that you hate and just getting paid like a minimum salary. And yes, it's going to be tough, but it can also be very smooth. It can be also a lot easier and more fun than people think that it is. Like, it took me like 7 years to really figure it out, but I truly believe that if you can, you can fast track your success. You can by learning from other people. And we have this thing called the internet right now, which is insane, right? But that's my rambling intro. Let's just kind of dive into my computer, and I have no agenda. I'm just going to show you guys kind of what I do, right? So my business is basically set up in two different ways, right? So first of all, I have a free school community, which is called Max Free, where I basically teach people how to make money online with this thing called school. So I have a free community, which is free. And then I have a paid community, which is paid. That costs $125 per month. And all in all, right now, my business is making $150,000 per month, 150, 155,000. This community makes around 85. My free community, where I have affiliate program, where I'm recommending a product, is making $55,000 per month. And then I'm also an affiliate for school, which makes another 10 grand a month. And then some other old stuff that makes like 5. So if you add all of that up, it's like $155,000 per month. And so that's kind of my business model. And this has taken me a long time to kind of figure out myself how to do this stuff, obviously. But now, once I have figured it out, it's not that hard. And now what I do is that I teach other people to do what I do and basically run an online education business. And that I want to be very careful that I don't take this. I don't want to go get ahead of myself and making this video too hard. But I think that is basically in a nutshell what I do. I teach people how to make money online with this thing. Then we have Faroon, right? So Faroon started his business, or he was basically in debt 5 months ago. And now he runs this community where he basically helps people on this platform called School as well. And he's also inside of my Max Premium community. And I'm not the only reason why Faroon is doing this, by the way, full disclaimer. I've helped him a little bit when he was in this thing called the School Games. So I can show you this, right? Because with School, they have like a contest where you can, every single month, there is a contest going on where you can win to basically travel to Las Vegas and meet Alex Ramosi and Sam Ovens. If you know who these guys are, you already know. If you don't know who they are, They are pretty big in the online business space, but they have this contest going on every single month where it's basically you can rank from the top 10 people in this contest get to travel to Las Vegas, right? And it's ranked on how much money you made last month with your school community. And you can see Faroon here. He made $64,000 per month in new monthly recurring revenue to his community, which is this community. And 5 months ago, he was completely broke, right? And the cool thing about this is that Faroon, like, how did he do that, right? That's the interesting thing. How did he actually make that happen? He basically modeled something that was already working in the marketplace. And this is something I'm going to circle back to a little bit later in this video as well. But if you break down business to like its core kind of fundamentals, what it is that you have something that people want, right? If you just think about yourself, the last thing that you purchased, right? Maybe that was a phone, maybe it was like a wallet or a shirt or a pair of shoes or whatever it was, or food or something, right? Ask yourself, like, why did you buy that thing? And what it boils down to is because you wanted that thing. And then why did you want that thing? Why did you want those shoes? Well, why did you want the new Nike Dunks shoes that cost $100 or $200 or whatever that you saved up for and you bought them? Well, you bought them because they give you status, right? Or they give you something that you want in your life, right? Or maybe why did you buy that meal that you just bought? Why did you buy a pizza 2 days ago? Well, because you wanted a pizza, right? So the market out there, basically group of people out there, right? We're constantly looking for stuff and we want stuff. We want to solve things, right? And also, this is very good illustrated if we go to, I have this thing called the Big Picture Figma board. So this illustrates this perfectly. So if we open it up here, right? This is basically illustrating this, right? So people have a current situation right here, and they have a desired situation. Like, my shoes looks bad right now. I want a pair of Nike Dunks for $200. So I'm gonna save up my money and then I'm gonna buy that. And the reason why I want those Nike Dunks is because I'm gonna get more status. I'm gonna look good, and hopefully it will like get me that date with that girl, for example, right? Or people will perceive me in a way that I want to be perceived, right? Or why did I buy that pizza? Well, first of all, I was hungry. My current situation was that I was hungry, and my desired situation was that I really wanted a tasty meal, like a pizza. So what did I do? Well, I went to a pizza store and I bought it, right? So that is basically what business is. It's not harder than that. It's one of those things where it's very simple, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. But the main thing to figure out in business is literally this. It's this transaction, right? And this is what most people get wrong when they start a business, because they don't figure out what this thing is. What is the transformation that people are looking for? So, for example, most people, what we do is like, oh, I don't have a business idea, or I don't know what to start a business about. Or, most people think that you're going to stand in the shower and like, oh, I just got an amazing business idea. And then you become a millionaire. And like starting business, that is basically luck. It couldn't be further from the truth. What really, really good entrepreneurs do is that they just go into a marketplace or a market. And in the beginning, I remember, what do people mean by marketplace? A marketplace is basically a group of people, right? It's basically a group of people. It could be football players, that's a marketplace, or surfers, that's a marketplace, or everyday people. That's also a marketplace, right? The marketplace for a pizza is basically everybody, right? Because every human out there is hungry every single day. We all need to eat, and most of us like pizza, right? So if you're selling pizzas, you have like the world as your marketplace, if you now can sell it to the world, right? Which is another thing. But that is basically what we need to do when we start a business. We just need to like figure out, first of all, a marketplace, right? Let's say I love surfing. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to focus on the surfers because I'm a surfer myself. I'm not, but let's say I was. And I love surfing. So I want to do something with surfers. Then I go into that marketplace and I figure out like, where are surfers right now? Surfers want to like have nice surfing boards. They want to look good. And they want to have like cool clothes, let's say, right? Then I can go into that marketplace and I'm like, okay, all of the surfers use a certain type of brand for their shorts, let's say, right? Or they all of them use a specific type of board that's very expensive, a specific design of a board. What if I just made a different, like the same design, but I just made it cheaper and better? Then I kind of know already that there's a marketplace there, because I know that surfers want this specific design of a surfing board, but it's too expensive, so most people can't buy it, right? What if I just made that cheaper and better, right? So this is how we get a business to work. This is how we find a business idea. It's not from us trying to like figure out or like just get an idea. We get the business idea by listening to people and taking a look at the marketplace. And that is exactly what Faroon did, right? Because again, he was broke and in debt 5 months ago, and now last month he made $64,000. How did he do that thing? Well, what Faroon did, which is genius, he basically observed somebody else in the marketplace who already did I might be paraphrasing this, but I spoke with Faroon like 2 weeks ago, and this is how he explained it to me, how I remember it. And if you're watching this, Faroon, maybe I'm getting this completely wrong, but the gist of it, at least, was that he saw somebody else who was kind of already doing this successfully. He saw that somebody was already doing this business model, but in a different way. So he just took inspiration from that. Again, he found somebody else who had already figured this out, right? He already found out somebody else who had figured out this business. Figured out like a current situation, desired situation, a marketplace, and what the vehicle was. What was the solution to that? So he saw somebody else who had already figured this out, and then he just made his own version of that. And guess what? It crushed. It worked, right? Who knew, right? So that's that story, and that is why it's so powerful to take inspiration from people. And again, Faroon is also inside of Max Premium, and he just crushed it in the school games. I, by no any means, the only reason why he crushed it. I gave him some small tweaks and advice that he added, and it crushed it even more. But the main moral of the story with Faroon is that he just took inspiration from somebody else, and it absolutely crushed, right? Then we also have Gracie. So Gracie recently joined Max Premium, like literally this week. And here you can see she has 200,000 followers on Instagram. She started her Instagram page like 3 or 4 months ago, and it just blew up. And basically what Gracie did as well, which is very, very interesting. She has a Dating with Gracie is her Instagram page, right? And so she's a dating coach. She helps men with dating, but she started out with something else. She started out with being a dating coach for women, right? And she started an Instagram page, she started doing reels and all of this, right? And it didn't take off. It didn't really work. It kind of took off, but it kind of worked, but it didn't like blow off, like blow up, right? So yeah, she started that, and it didn't really work. But then she started getting comments on her reels, which was dating advice for women, right? She started to get comments from men like, "Hey, can't you just do this for guys?" And she was like, interesting. So then what she did is that she went to other people who were doing dating advice for men, okay? She saw what are people doing, again, if we go back to this, right? What are people doing in the dating space for men? She found somebody who had figured this out, right? She found somebody who already knew how to do this. And what she did do? She just modeled them. And she got content ideas from them. She even told me that, in all of her videos here, you can see that she sits in her car in a Tesla. And she got that inspiration from somebody else as well. She was like, that seems to be working for that person. I'm just going to model that. And then you can see all of the titles that she has here, right? And you can see on the reels, like she started 3 months ago. She's getting like hundreds of thousands of views on all of her reels. Insane. And so how did she do that? It's not because she was just standing in the shower one day and just got a gift from God that told her like a vision on how to do this. She just modeled somebody else who had already figured it out and made her own twist to that. And then it just blew up like crazy, right? And she has not even started her free school community yet. She's about to do that. But my point here is that every single successful person that I start to see now, more and more and more, what they do is that instead of figuring out this from scratch by themselves, they take inspiration from other people who are already figured it out, And that way they already know that it's going to work if they do it, right? They already know that it's going to work because this other person is doing it, and they don't copy them completely. They just take inspiration from them, like the most valuable things, and then they just make it their own. So that's really the success story behind myself. I've taken, like what I'm currently doing, I've taken inspiration from other people. Like this model that I'm doing, teaching people how to do what I do, that's not new. It's like very old, actually. I've taken a bunch of inspiration from other people. Gracie did that as well. Now I click that link. And then also that's what Faroon did as well. So that is basically the core thing that I wanted to talk about in this video. That starting an online business, yes, it's hard. Yes, it takes energy. Yes, it takes time. It takes effort. But you can shortcut your success and you can succeed a lot faster. And more importantly, you can avoid traps that are going to cost you just frustration and energy. And like, instead of learning all of the lessons the hard way by doing all of these mistakes yourself, what if you could just like learn from somebody else and like see what mistakes they did, and so that you don't do them? Or even better, what if you can find somebody like Faroon and take like, oh, Faroon is crushing it. What if I just do what he is doing? Or Gracie's crushing it. I'm just going to see what Grace is doing and take inspiration from her and then just do the same thing as she is doing. Then you're basically getting this business in a box, as we just talked about. And you don't have to go through the pain and the suffering and the time and the error and the frustration of trying to figure out everything yourself from scratch. And yeah, that is why I wanted to make this video, because this is the biggest thing that I see, as mentioned. And I hope that I got this into my head when I started out, because I didn't start out this way. I thought that I had to make my business completely new, completely unique, and that I was somehow going to invent something completely new that nobody had ever seen before, and everybody was going to want and buy that. But the moral of the story is that the market wants what the market wants. And there's also a quote from this book called Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz, that where he says that you can't create desire in the marketplace, right? I can't force you to want something, right? That makes sense, right? If you want a pair of Nike Dunks, it doesn't matter. Like it's very hard for me to, and for those of you who have no idea what I talk about, if you search for Nike Dunks, right? This is a pair of shoes that are, very popular shoes and they're like rare, and they're like different colors, and they sell off market, or like on not only from the Nike stores, but there's like people who save them and store them and resell them for a lot more expensive, right? Let's say you want a pair of Nike Dunks. That's the shoe that you want, right? That's what you want. That's what the market wants. It's going to be very hard for me to sell you like a pair of Puma shoes, let's say, right? Let's say I'm trying to sell this shoe, right? How am I going to be able to sell you this shoe if you want a pair of Nike Dunks, right? And hopefully you're like sitting there laughing right now, like that it's kind of stupid, right? But this is exactly what most entrepreneurs are doing. The marketplace is looking for the Nike Dunks. The marketplace is out there looking for this shoe because they are cool, and they give you status, and they give you this feeling that you want. And at the same time, most entrepreneurs are out there like, hey, I'm running ads, buy my Puma shoes. They are the best. They're super comfortable, and they're going to make you run faster, and they're going to, and the marketplace is like, this is like, what do you mean? I don't want these ugly shoes. I'm not saying that, if you have these ones, all credit to you. But I'm sure you get what I mean, right? This is what most of us entrepreneurs are doing. We're just like trying to sell something that the marketplace doesn't want. And hopefully this example just makes it click for you. That, right, most people are trying to sell Puma shoes when the marketplace wants the cool Nike shoes. So you can't create desire in the marketplace. You can only leverage the desire that is already there, right? So if you know that, okay, I want to go and resell shoes. Okay, what does the market want to buy? The marketplace don't want to buy the Puma shoes. So I'm not going to resell the Puma shoes because that's not going to work, right? So what do? Well, I look at what other people, like what does other Nike or like shoe resellers, what are they doing? Well, they're selling the Nike Dunks. Why do they sell the Nike Dunks, you ask yourself? Probably because most people want to buy the Nike Dunks, and they're rare and they're expensive, and it gives you status and makes you look good and all of this, right? Again, goes back to this current situation and desired situation. The marketplace have a current situation and they want to go to a desired place. And they're looking for a specific thing to get them there. Like they want to be cool with the Nike Dunks. So if you offer them the Puma shoes, you're not going to make any sales. You're not going to make any sales. So this is what business is. This is what life is. This is literally, if there's one entrepreneurial lesson that you should learn, it's this. It's literally this. And I didn't learn this lesson for a long period of time. And even when people told me about this lesson, I didn't listen. I didn't care. I thought that, people want the Nike Dunks. But like the Puma shoes are better. You know, they have better material. They're not going to make you as warm. And they're also more comfortable. And they're cheaper as well. So why wouldn't you buy a shoe that is cheaper, more comfortable, and it's, in my opinion, it looks better, right? I think the Puma shoes looks better. So as the business owner, and of course I think it looks better if it's my shoe, right? But like, why wouldn't people buy this stuff? Why are people so stupid buying this stuff that is overpriced? And I think it looks super ugly, by the way. I'm not saying that I do. I have a pair of these myself. But maybe the business owner thinks like, these shoes are just bad. They're not comfortable. They're bad quality material. And they're just super overpriced. So I'm just going to offer this instead. But here's where people go wrong then. Because the marketplace, they want this. So it doesn't matter what you think the marketplace wants. It doesn't matter. You can't create the desire in the marketplace. You can only leverage the desire that is already there, right? So that is my rant for today. That is my business advice for today. And this is like the thing. It's the ultimate thing. If you just get this right, and you can make it so simple for yourself, you can just look for other people that are crushing it and just do what they do. Model them because they've already figured it out. Just sell what they're selling, but do it in your own way. And you don't have to worry about that you're going to be a copycat. Obviously, you don't want to rip them off and like have their exact product and have their exact videos and all of that. But you can make it in your own way. You could like, you're a unique person. You're gonna do that in your own unique way. That like it's just going to happen that way. So hopefully this advice was valuable to you. If it was, then let me know below and let me know what you want to see in more videos. And that's it. Good stuff.